So this morning I was getting up and watching some YouTube videos, and I noticed that I'm seeing a lot of videos from the incel sector of YouTube. I see a lot of videos from men in America, different parts of, the world. And they're always talking about how they're unselect, or women just don't choose them. They've never dated before and they're in their 30s. They've never had a girlfriend. They've never had sex before. Just things like that. And a lot of them say things like women are shallow. It just makes me laugh because the world is shallow. The world is shallow. Looks aren't everything, but looks matter. One particular guy who I see a lot, his name is Savvy Guy. Savvy, man, you be tripping. You tripping because I'm not saying that what you're saying is not true in your case, as far as women can be just sometimes fake about, if you try to get with them, they'll take your number but they won't call you and stuff like that. There are women out there like that, but that's just them being selective. And even men are selective. Everyone should be selective. Yes, the world is very based on looks. If you look at social media, it's constantly changing. Women love their makeup. They love their fancy clothes, whether they're expensive or cheap clothes. They like to look good. They like their makeup. That's a sign that looks matter. Men are attracted to that. A lot of men are attracted to women based on their looks. But you say personality, as far as women say they like a man's personality, it's not true. That's what you say. You say it's not true, but that's not true. A man can be as good looking as he wants to be. I mean, he could be from head to toe, just an Adonis from head to toe. But if he don't have something about him that shows that he's a caring person, he has some empathy about him with things, he takes care of himself as far as financially and physically and, everything, all of that to go, the whole package, you know what I mean? Looks just ain't enough to get somebody by. It's just not. And as a woman, I do realize that there are certain type of people in this world who, as you would call it, have the it factor. Because I watch you go after Jeremy Meeks constantly. He's one of your main talking points when you're describing people who are just born to look good and people who just have everything thrown at them and just given to them and for no reason. But that's genetics. He can't help what he looks like, just like you can't help what you look like. And I watched one of your videos and you were blaming God. You went on this rant blaming God for everything. And said you were going to start making some type of videos called what God didn't do. And I think you know that's jacked up that you would blame the Most High for your situation as far as how you look. You need to blame your mom and dad. You need to blame your parents, dog. That's on them. Because they're the ones who laid down and had you. One of them is ugly, maybe not, but they can look at each other and honestly tell, who's the unattractive one, but they still chose to lay down and procreate. As adults, we all know if you're having unprotected sex in a marriage or not in a marriage, a child can come out of that. So they chose to create you. They weren't thinking about, is he going to be good looking one day? Is he going to be select one day? They didn't care about that. They still had you and brought you into this world. God created genetics in the system of procreation. He didn't say, okay, now you and that one go and be together. He gave your parents, just like all of us, free will to go and do whatever we choose to do. Whoever we choose to lay up with, that's something we make the choice. So looks matter, but personality also has to be there, bro. And you're constantly saying personality. Women don't care about personality. Women are so shallow. Men are so shallow. Men are so shallow. Men don't pick women based on their brains most times nowadays. Men are picking women based on their body type. She got a big booty. That's the one you want. She got a big rack. That's the one you want. They don't say, oh, you know, she's very educated and well-versed and very cultured and she's traveled the world and she knows a lot about classical, or she knows a lot about this and that, and she's that. Men don't care about nothing like that. Men date women based off looks most times, hands down. So if you're saying that about women, you got to know that's the same thing with men. That's just how you are. That's the nature of the thing. Most people don't want to be laid up with nobody who's ugly. Most people don't want to date somebody who's ugly. Most people don't want to be in the bed making kids with people they know is horrible looking. You got to deal with that for the rest of your life. You procreate with somebody who's horrible looking and you bring this kid into the world. You got to deal with that ugly person for the rest of your days. Then you risk having a child that's ugly and they're going to come into the world with issues like you're having. Personally, I don't think you're an ugly guy. You're just too hard on yourself, but your mental state is definitely somewhere a little bit amiss. You're making these videos blaming God all the time. You blame, you know, people like Jeremy Meeks for just having this, what you call it to be the it factor. And these people, they can't help what they look like. They were born that way. His mom and his dad, you know, had good looks. They got together. They created him. Yeah, he was a criminal who was, you know, locked up and ended up, you know, with one of the most beautifulest mugshots in the world, which gained him a modeling career, a marriage, and things like that. We don't all have the same path. So if looks ain't working for you, you need to sharpen up on other things. You also say in your videos how you like the finer things and you want to shower a woman with all of those things. You want a wife you can do those things with. Man, go out there and get you a wife. You probably just stuck in the same city, the same state. You don't get around. You talk about you want to go and do these things, but you're not actually getting out there and doing them. I see that you're in some type of mechanic school program or whatever. You know, hey, big up to you for that. That's great. That's really great. You know, that you're trying to pull yourself up. But if you didn't have the money in your 20s and you didn't have a career and you weren't set up and put together, that could be a reason why no woman has chose to settle down with you. You didn't have your things together. It's not about your looks, because to me, you're not a bad looking guy. And in another one of your videos, you talk about when women say that you're not ugly, don't believe it. You don't believe it if a woman was to say that about you. Well, it's true. You're not a bad looking guy. It's your personality is a little amiss. And I think it's probably a mental situation. You know, you blame God, you blame women for everything. Like men just can't do no wrong. The same thing you say about women, men think like that too. Men are very shallow too. Not all men, but a lot of them out there are. Women are very shallow. Sure they are. Not all women, but a lot of them are. That's just the way of the world. You know, you got to find what works for you. And you probably have a preference of a type of woman who don't prefer you. So you need to just, you know, wipe the slate clean and really get to know yourself and figure out who you really are. What do you really like? And go after that and change it up from whatever you're searching for that is rejecting you, because that doesn't want you. So you're going to have to come up with a whole nother plan for things. You know, get your finances together. Fix your mental state. The things you be saying is just jacked up. You know, you want to go to brothels and prostitution should be legal and all of this stuff, and you should just be able to sleep with prostitutes and stuff like that. Like, that type of thinking is crazy. One, you're not thinking about your health, and two, a lot of women who live that life, their mental state is jacked up. You don't know what these women have been through as kids and stuff like that makes them able to lay up with any random man who's giving them money. So you just willing to go out there and keep exploiting them just to get your rocks off, to have a woman's touch. You know what I mean? That's jacked up. Get your confidence together. You got low self-esteem. Your confidence is low. Your mental is a little off. Like, there's something that just seems amiss to me. But otherwise than that, you know, you're not a bad looking guy. You're not a bad looking guy at all. You don't take advice from other men when they tell you to hit the gym. You say it out of your own mouth. Never take advice from good looking men. So then who can you learn from? Because in your comment section, it seemed like there's a whole bunch of other men who think they're ugly too. They're just down on life. A lot of them have never had a girlfriend, never had sex before, don't have kids. All they do is go to work, go home, go to work, go home, because that's all they think life has to matter. So if you hang around these downward men, you're always going to be downward. I think you need to change the way you look at stuff and stop blaming God for everything. It's your parents' fault. Do you ever blame your mom? Do you ever blame your dad? Stop blaming the church. That's their fault. One of them was ugly and they still got together and they created you. No, you was going to come into the world with the genetics and you said it out of your own mouth. Your dad was honest with you. Your dad was honest with you. So one of them saw that in you. So you need to blame them for that. Otherwise than that, I like your content. It makes me laugh because I just never knew that there was people in the world that lived their life thinking as every day, all the time. I mean, savvy. I mean, you go in on yourself all the time. And then you go in on women, but you're probably picking the wrong women. Go and find you a woman in the bookstore or something. Go and find you one of them quiet women. One of those pet-loving women. She got a whole bunch of cats. Maybe she's a veterinarian. Maybe she's a vet tech. You need one of them type quiet girls, a country girl, nice little, thick little cutie from down south or something. Man, go find one of them. But there's something that you're looking for that you want that don't prefer you. And it could be because you watch a lot of, you know, these music videos you sing about, you talk about all these videos you used to watch when you were younger. You got this image in your mind of something that you want that don't want you. And you're chasing something that's rejecting you. So everything is bad to you based off of those few things that reject you. And you're just too downward on yourself. You and your whole comment section, y'all some downward men. And I don't understand that. There's some ugly people out here in the world who got boatloads of kids, 2-3 girlfriends, a wife. If they can do it, why can't you do it? There's some truckers out here that is so horrible looking, and you look, and they got a wife in the truck with them. They pull right off. She in there cooking while he's doing his paperwork. He get out, he's pumping the gas, the diesel or whatever, and she run into the store and grab their snacks and some stuff and extra water and extra juice and stuff like that. They're working as a team. And he's horrible looking. Or she's horrible looking. If they can do it, I know you can do it. So you need to just stop feeling sorry for yourself, bro. You're not an ugly dude. And I'm a woman, and I'm telling you that. You're not an ugly dude. You know, fix your personality as far as, you know, your mental state and things like that. And get out there in the world and get around the States. You know, get around the States and find your wife. You're too hard on yourself. And congratulations on getting your auto mechanics credentials. I see you're in school for that or whatever. And good luck with that. And I just hope you really find yourself. I mean, savvy. The world is a bad place, but we can make it a lot better. Don't help the world beat you up. You know, you got to combat that. Fight back against it, bro. You're not an ugly dude. Stop that. Stop. Know when to stop yourself. Stop blaming God for, you know, your shortcomings. Blame your parents for that because they knew what they looked like before they made you. And no, looks aren't everything, but at least they got to be 30%. Ain't nobody just, you know, okay, we'll just lay it up with some ugly person who ain't got nothing going on for themselves. You can't be working at Best Buy, you're ugly, and then you looking for some wife and some woman to come be with you, but you know you can't pay her bills nor yours. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. At Savvy Guy. I'm gonna continue to watch your videos. You be throwing me back with some of the stuff you say. You truly make me laugh, bro. But I hope you get it together, and I hope you find what you're looking for, some happiness, bro. You're not an ugly dude. Real rap, you're not an ugly dude.